Hey everybody, come on in here, come on in here. You see the title. I'm going to talk to you today about 5 of the best ways that I have absolutely learned how to deal with toxic people. Let me tell you this, I don't care how positive you are, I don't care how rich and how abundant of a vision you have for the world, I don't care how good you treat people. One thing that we will all deal with at some point in time, and sometimes on a regular basis, is dealing with people who frankly are toxic. That the way that they conduct themselves and the way that they interact with us and with the world around us, frankly, it's problematic, it's unhealthy, and you cannot live your life running from these people. You've got to learn how to deal with them, all right? So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. If you were watching yesterday, then you heard how I talked to Amy about her situation, about how to get out of that relationship, because she was just in a mess. She was really in a mess. And let me tell you, we are all just praying and sending up good thoughts for her. If you want to see that, go ahead and watch it. We did a video. When was that one? That was about a week or so ago, where I was talking about how to choose people who choose you and stop chasing after people, because some of y'all chasing toxic people. That video is at almost 100,000 views in 7 days. It is incredible, all right? We've been just doing a lot of talking around relationships and things of that nature. And so one of the things that came up was people kept on saying, okay, I know how to identify when someone's toxic. You know, I know that it's toxic to have someone who's got a bad temper and constantly is blowing up on me. I know that it's toxic to be around someone who's victim-minded. Someone who, have you ever been around a victim-minded person? Someone where they are constantly in a state of believing that they're a victim no matter what happens. Even when they're wrong, they will try to convince you. They will try to convince you that somehow or another you're victimizing them, all right? So I always say victims find ways to continue being victims, all right? So if you ever come in contact with a victim-minded person, understand that's the type of toxicity. We all know what it means to deal with a self-absorbed person, someone who frankly is who's so consumed with themselves that they can't give anything to you. So I'm going to be talking about that. So come on in here, click like and click share, all right? Because that's how we're going to get more people in here to watch this. I just really think that this is a topic that people really, really need. There is somebody who is struggling on their job. There's someone who's struggling in the relationships. There's someone who's out here who's struggling in so many different parts of their life, and it's because they haven't learned how to deal with difficult people, how to deal with toxic people, right? When I say toxic, what I mean by toxic is anything that's toxic is not good for you. Anything that's toxic, if it's around you too much, it gets into your space, gets into your aura, it can mess you up. So for those of y'all who are newly watching me, I'm of course Malcolm J. Harris. I am a motivational success teacher. I also am the CEO of a company called National Care Financial Group, which happens to be one of America's largest African-American-owned financial services companies. If you like this video, I want you to go ahead and click like it. I want you to click share on it. And I also want you to go ahead and make sure that you go to my page and click like on my page, because by following me, that allows you to see more and more of my videos as they come out. Let me tell you, I am constantly producing messages that are really designed to help people. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump in. So let me go ahead and start this out. Before I even go into the 5 ways to deal with toxic people, I'm going to jump right in. I see you there. I see Keisha. I see Tracy. I see all of y'all coming in here. I'm going to name some examples of toxic people, right? So let me go ahead and start naming those. The first one here, bad tempers. And when I say bad tempers, it's one thing to have a bad temper, but I'll put it like this: someone who can't control their tempers very well, all right? So that's number one. Here's another one. Here's another type of toxic person, victim-minded. I mentioned that one earlier. You know, someone who's constantly living in a state of being a victim. And let me tell you this, you can't get into an argument or disagreement with a victim-minded person, because no matter what you say, they're going to try to make it about them, that somehow or another they're a victim. Hey, Tracy, I see you coming in here. I see Sylvia, Ella, I see all of y'all. All right? You don't want to deal with a victim-minded person. In fact, I say run from them like the plague, honey, because no matter what, let me tell you, I always say this, someone who's victim-minded finds a way to make who is around them their victimizer, all right? And so no matter what you do, they will find a way to help you perpetuate their victim-minded mindset, all right? Patricia says, yes, Lord, because she understands that, all right? Here's another one. A jealous person. Now, let me tell you this. I believe that on some level, jealousy is a normal human emotion, right? I do believe that on some level. I believe on some level that jealousy is a normal human emotion. And what I mean by that is it's just a normal, it's primal on a level, even beyond humans. Think about this. If you have a dog, and I used to have 2 dogs, and if one of my dogs was on my lap, the other one would try to knock the other one off, because they view me as their owner. They have a sense of entitlement to me, and they don't want the other one coming close to me. So I think on some level, people can be just a touch jealous. Now, I'm not saying unhealthy jealous, but I'm saying, sometimes we want to make sure that what we believe to be ours or what we believe we're entitled to, that other people aren't infringing on that. So I get that, but someone who can't control their jealousy, that's definitely a toxic person. Manipulators. And for those of y'all who are just joining, I'm going to be giving 5 ways to deal with toxic people, all right? But I'm going through some examples of toxic people first. This is a preview of a live session because I'm going to be doing a 3-part series called Ready for Love. And it's not just about romantic love. It's about ready to love yourself. Ready to love. How do you love yourself? How do you receive love from others? How do you, rather it's romantic love, rather it's in your family, with your family and friends, how do you prepare yourself to be ready for the love that you want, need, and deserve? And I'm telling you, learning how to deal with people is a huge part of that. So that's a 3-part series. You can sign up for my Success Circle online community for the next 48 hours with discounting the cost of my community. It's normally about $38 and some change to join the community. Today it's going to be $24.97. It'll be a 3-part series that we're doing in the community that starts next week. But if you want to get the discounted rate, you got to join it within the next 48 hours. But nonetheless, manipulators, those are another type of toxic people. I can tell you this. A manipulator, in my opinion, is probably one of the worst types of toxic people because they get into your head, all right? They mess your head up and they can have you believing something about yourself that's not even right. A manipulator have you believing that you're wrong when you're right. They have you believing you see things. A manipulator is someone where you need to get away from them. Some people are manipulators to the point where it's a mental illness for them, all right? They don't even know they're doing it. They can't even stop if they wanted to, all right? They can see that they are damaging and destroying relationships around them, but they don't know how to stop doing it. So when you're dealing with a manipulator, the best way to deal with a manipulator is to get away from a manipulator, right? Never believe that you are strong enough to outfight a manipulator. Let me tell you this, because manipulators have been manipulators for most likely their whole life, all right? And they know how to do what they know how to do, all right? So I say get away from those, but those are another type of toxic person. And I'm going to tell you how to deal with them. So go ahead and click like, click share, make sure more people see this, because whenever we click like and whenever we click share, we are setting the stage to help other people. It's not just about saying, hey, watch MJ. It's about saying, hey, this is a message that I know can help people. You don't know who's within your friends list right now. Hey, Renee, I see you there. You don't know who's in your friend list right now who needs this message, who's struggling with a man or woman at home, who's manipulating them, who's being jealous, who's being self-absorbed, who's doing all these things. And this message could unlock their mind to be able to see things differently. Here's another type of toxic person, judgmental, all right? Someone where no matter what you tell them, they got something to say. They got to judge it. Somebody where you can't tell them what you're going through. You can't tell them your deep thoughts because they're going to have judgment. The kind of person where they're going to say, I told you so. Kick you when you're down kind of person. Always telling you what's wrong with you. That's another type of toxic person. And sometimes the most judgmental people are the people who are closest to us, all right? So we're going to talk through how you deal with toxic people, because toxic people are not always just that annoying coworker. Sometimes they can even be your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. They could be the person sleeping beside you at night, all right? Tamisha says that is so true. And here's another one, and I want y'all to listen close. I'm going to step on some toes, so get your steel toe shoes on, because I'm going to step on some toes with this one. Petty people. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and probably in the last year I kept seeing all these posts where people talk about I'm petty. And I didn't know what it meant. I was like, why would people want to say they're petty? And so I asked my sister, I said, what does that mean? She says it means it's saying that they're messy and that they don't care. Let me tell you this about that whole petty mess. Now, I'm not saying this about everyone who says they're petty, because I understand it's a fad thing and people just saying and don't even know what they mean half the time. But there are some folks out here who are truly toxic. When they say they're petty, what they mean is that they're messy, that they're muck rakers. Look that up. Muck rakers. M-U-C-K rakers, all right? That they like to stir up mess. That's the worst kind of toxic, because they're looking for mess to create, all right? That's toxic. I'm going to tell you how to deal with them, because some of y'all got people in their life like that. So that's right. Click like, click share, click like, click share. Send me those hearts. Let me know you're there, all right? I'm going to jump right in. I got my list here. I wrote it together so I can make sure that I remember everything. This is very important to me, all right? So let's start with the first strategy for how you deal with toxic people, all right? The first one, and this is very critical, okay? Do not ignore their behavior. You cannot ignore a toxic person's behavior. Because here's the thing, 2 points around why you do not want to ignore their behavior, right? And I see Diane just came in here. 2 reasons why you don't want to ignore a toxic person's behavior. Reason number 1 is because you give them permission. Your silence gives them permission to continue that level of toxicity with you. Let me tell you this, people pick and choose who they do their mess with, all right? Now, I do think that some people really can't really make a distinction. They can't compartmentalize it. But people do pick and choose. They know who to pick to do their mess with, right? And so I believe you can't change everybody, but you can certainly let people know I am not the one and today is not the day, all right? And so that's what you got to tell people by calling it out. It's amazing how when you call someone out, that stuff stops. You say, hold on, honey. I'm not going to be able to deal with you talking to me like that today. All right, that doesn't feel right for me. So if you want to continue in this conversation, if you want to have any future conversations, what I'm going to need you to do is speak to me differently, okay? And you look at him just like that, all right? You don't have to be aggressive. You just put it out there right there like that. Don't smirk. Don't laugh. Don't do nothing like that, okay? Right? And that lets that person know, oh, okay, Patricia's not the one. I'm not fooling with Patricia. I can do that with Randy, but not Patricia, all right? And so that's the whole thing. You don't want to ignore their behavior or try to duck and dodge, because sometimes folks are so non-confrontational. And I understand this. I've been this way. This is my past. Being so non-confrontational, I believe that if I ignore it or hide from it enough, somehow or another it'll go away. And it never goes away. It only gets worse, right? And so you want to confront them so that you can let them know I am not the one and today is not the day. You can figure out diplomatic ways to say that, but there is a way to say that. One of the things I do when I'm dealing with someone who's kind of coming at me in a toxic way, let me tell you, I did this the other day. I was speaking with someone. It was a business matter, and the woman who I was speaking with kind of got really rude with me. I mean, she got really, really rude with me because I was asking her very specific questions. I'm going to tell you this: when my money's involved, right, or the money of my team members is involved, right? Because I feel like I'm responsible for them. They're people. They're paying for their kids to go to school, paying for college, paying for all these different things. I want to make sure that we do things right. Everything is right and in decent and in good order. And so she was being rude with me when I was sort of digging into the numbers, saying that things didn't add up, they didn't make sense. And so she was talking to me all kind of sideways, and I said to her, I said, excuse me, not you call their name out. I said, excuse me, so-and-so, let's just say her name was Mary. Excuse me, Mary. I said, could you repeat what you just said to me? She said, did you not hear me the first time? I said, I did hear you the first time, but I think you need to hear your tone. So hopefully you can repeat it differently. What did you just say? Now that caught her off guard, because how many people are going to be that direct, all right? I'm not in your face. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm sitting back. So it's nothing like that. It's not to intimidate anybody, but I'm going to let you know that the way you spoke to me was inappropriate, And am I worried about stepping on your toes? Absolutely not, because you were not worried about stepping on my toes when you spoke to me that way, right? I'm not going to cuss at you. I'm not going to call you out your name. I'm not going to question your character, but I will let you know that the way you just spoke to me did not work out well for me, and it's not going to work out well for my response to you. Another way to deal with them as a way not to ignore it is saying, I'm not going to be able to be in communication with you. I'm not going to be able to continue this conversation as long as you continue speaking to me this way, because the way I'm receiving your tone of speech is as abrasive or is as rude or is as whatever. That's another way you say, the way I'm receiving you right now is you're kind of coming across this way, and I'm sure that's not your intention, but that is how you're coming across. And in order for me to engage with you, I'm going to need to receive you a little bit differently. So is it possible you could retry what you just said, but just in a slightly different fashion? You say it just like that. You try the ways that work for you, but regardless, do not ignore their behavior. Here's another way to deal with, another reason, I should say, why you don't want to ignore their behavior. Some people literally don't know that the way they're coming across is abrasive or difficult or toxic. And the reason why is because so many people avoid dealing with them. They're so used to bullying people and pushing folks around that people don't bring it up to them. And so they think that the way that they do things is right. Right? And so you offer them, let me tell you this, you offer people an opportunity to grow and develop when you come to them and say, hey, the way you're coming across just doesn't work for me. Can I share with you a little bit about how I'm receiving you right now? And then, for them, it may take them back a little bit because they're not used to being confronted that way. But let me tell you this, there's nobody out here who wants to be disliked, right? People who say, I don't care how I come across, just deal with me. That ain't nothing but an immature person or a broken person who just doesn't understand that they're able to grow. And because they don't understand that they're able to grow, they just think that people should deal with them. Most people want to be liked. They want to be accepted. They want to be understood. And so by you letting them know, hey, the way you're coming across is really an impediment for me to be able to understand you. And I'm sure that your intention is for me to be able to understand you. Your intention is not to step on my toes. So I'm just letting you know how I'm receiving you so that maybe we can re-gear how this conversation's going. Does that work for you? And it's going to catch them off guard, I guarantee. But they're going to treat you differently. They're going to talk to you differently. Let me tell you this. I am a master. I am a master of dealing with difficult people. Give me the most difficult person in the room, honey. I can work with them. And you know why I can work with them? Because I'm very pleasant. I'm very nice, but I'm nobody's doormat. All right, understand this smile is not an invitation to walk all over me. I will smile at you while reading you your rights, all right? And I'm going to do it respectfully. I'm going to do it kindly. And I'm going to empower you in the process, right? That's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to tell you that this doesn't work for me. I don't like the way you're speaking to me right now. And I imagine that the way you're speaking to me is not how you intend to speak to me, because someone of your character, someone of your stature would never want to come across the way you're coming across. Isn't that right? They'll say, yeah, you're right. Okay, great. So why don't we try that again? I'm going to take authority because I'm the authority in how I need to be treated, right? So it's not a matter of me trying to put myself above them. It's a matter of me saying, hey, for this temple here, I'm the authority figure for this temple right here. And in being the authority figure for this temple right here, you're not going to disrespect this temple by bringing your toxicity to me. And here's the thing, people have a choice. They have a choice when you choose to confront them. They can, and it's a win-win for you. Because here's the thing, either they will say, I don't want to engage with you, and they will end the conversation, end the discussion, end the relationship, which is a win for you because they're clearing themselves out of your life, or they will change to accommodate what you've told them that you demand as a way to deal with you, right? So it's a win-win for you, right? So I stand up and I take authority and say, you know what? This temple's going to be respected, all right? And the way you're going to respect me is by me telling you how I need to be treated. But you can't teach people how to treat you if you are sitting up here trying to avoid and ignore their toxicity. Sometimes you just got to confront some things, all right? Now, here's the next one. Here's another strategy for dealing with a toxic person, right? And this is very important. This is very important. Listen close and take notes. Do not, under any circumstance, participate in their dysfunction. Their dysfunction is their problem. It is not your problem at all. You don't have to participate in people's dysfunction. And what I mean by that is, do you know that there are some people out here where they literally get off, they get energy on arguing with you, on going back and forth with you. Don't participate in that. Let me tell you, if you want to shut down someone who's got toxicity in them, if you want to shut down a difficult person, if you want to shut down somebody who truly is just trying to get you revved up because they're so used to dysfunction that that's the only way they know how to process things. There are some people who only feel love when they are arguing and when they're fighting. That's their problem. That's their problem. But you don't have to participate in it. When they start going to that place and start nitpicking and you feel them trying to start an argument with you, the best way to not participate is to shut your mouth. And you sit there like this. And you let them talk. Let them get it all out. And they say, so you have anything to say? No, not at this time. And they keep going. And then you say, well, this really isn't a conversation that I feel is really healthy for us to participate in right now. So I'm just going to kind of take a break from it. How about we come back to this later? And they say, well, when you want to come back to it? I'll let you know when I'm ready. No, we're going to talk about this right now. I'm just not going to do that right now. And then you leave the room or hang up the phone. Because you set your boundary. You don't have to participate in other people's dysfunction. Let me tell you this. You give your power away every time you allow someone else's responses or moods to guide how you respond. I don't care if they are flying off the hook. I don't care what they're doing. You are in control of your body. You're in control of your being. You don't have to participate. An argument is only an argument if two people are participating in it. If one person is shutting up, then what's going to happen? Now, what I'm not instructing you to do is stonewall people, right? Because sometimes you're in relationships with people and you need to engage, all right? So I'm not saying go and stonewall people, meaning that you just shut down, don't give them anything. What I'm specifically talking about is when you're dealing with a toxic person, someone who's nitpicking, someone who's being judgmental, someone who's yelling at you or speaking to you in an abusive manner, someone who's really dealing with you in a manner that's truly hurting you and it's affecting you, right? In a not great way. Those are the times I'm talking about where you don't have to participate in it. You have the power to dictate who and what you deal with and how you deal with people. So you set your boundaries. And one of the best boundaries you can ever set is to give a toxic person silence. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it. And let me tell you this, it teaches them something. It lets them know that when I deal with this person, if I cross that line, he or she is going to shut down on me. So I need to keep my stuff within perspective. One of the things I've done is I used to be close to someone who baby, he could go off. Do you hear me? He could go off. Not off, off. AWFF, right? He could go off, all right? And one thing I learned, because I used to try to calm him down when he would go off. I would say, well, hold on now. Think I just, going through all that kind of stuff. Then he flying off the handle even more, right? Because I'm coddling him at that point. And so what I learned to do was when he would go off, my mother told me this. She said, just be quiet. So he'd be going off and I would sit there. And he said, you're not going to say anything? I'll engage you once you lower your tone. I'll engage you once you lower your tone. And if you can't lower your tone, then we can come back to this conversation later. Let me tell you, he learned to calm down. And from that moment forward, whenever he's about to go off, I would do like this. All right, cool. And how I knew it was successful was when he eventually started saying to me, you know what? Let me just chill out. I'm going to come back to this a little bit later when I get myself together. I say, that's a good thing. And here's, you give a little positive reinforcement. I say, that's such a good thing. Thank you so much. Because, I appreciate when you do that. Because when you make choices like that in terms of speaking to me and taking time away so you can come back and speak to me in a healthy and whole way, that makes me feel good. And it makes me feel cared about. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And he's feeling all good, like, okay, he's doing a good thing. So when they act right, when they respond to your boundaries, positive reinforcement. Tell them they did good, because they did do good. Let them know how good it makes you feel for them to do that, and they'll do more of it. So for those of y'all who've just tuned in, I'm giving 5 ways to deal with toxic people. This is a preview for my 3-part series, which is called Ready for Love. And it's not just about being ready for romantic relationships. It's about being ready for love. How do you love yourself more? How do you communicate to other people what it means to love you? We talk about love languages, all that kind of stuff. It'll be me, it'll be other life coaches in there talking about this. I'm telling you, you cannot have a successful life without having successful relationships with other people, as well as a successful relationship with yourself, right? Barbara, you not late, you just right on time. I love Barbara. She always here, all right? I love it. And so if you want to sign up for that, just go ahead and join my online community, my success circle. Normally it's about $37 or something like that to join the community. For the next 48 hours, it's going to be $24.97 to join the community, just for the next 48 hours. And this will be the series we're doing for the entire month. It'll be Ready for Love. It's going to be good. All right. So, of course, who's watching right now, click like, click share. And if you're watching me for the first time, make sure you go to my page and click like on my page so you can follow me and get more of my posts. Because let me tell you, I do the best I can, but I believe that I give y'all some nuggets. I know I do, because I work hard on these nuggets to make sure I'm giving y'all the best of what I got. All right. Here's the next one. Around how you deal with a dysfunctional person or a toxic person, right? Really all the same thing in my opinion, right? The other one is this. You forgive, but you don't forget. Let me be very clear about that, right? You forgive them, but you don't forget. Now, I'm all about forgiving people. I am all about forgiving people, because when you forgive people, that's a gift to yourself. When someone releases their toxicity on you in whatever way they've released it on you, you've got to find a way to forgive them, rather you've spoken with that person about it or not. Right? It doesn't matter. You have to find a way to forgive them, because you're not going to be able to move on. You're not going to be able to form new relationships. You're not even going to be able to have a healthy relationship with yourself if you don't learn to forgive people. But you should not forgive their behavior. Let me tell you this. I wanted my cell phone over here, but it's in the other room. Nonetheless, I want to show y'all this. In my cell phone, when someone has done me wrong, I'm talking about done me completely wrong, when I've just seen their toxicity firsthand, and I said, you know what, this is not healthy for me. This is not a healthy person, but it's a person who I may not want to have completely out of my life. I see some distance from them, right? Here's what I do, because it's very easy to forget someone's toxicity, right, after you have forgiven them, because then your human emotions start to kick in and you start to see the good traits in them. Because let me tell you this, the same dog that can bite your hand can also lick your hand, all right? No one is purely bad all the time. Do you hear what I'm saying? The same dog that can bite your hand will lick it too. So it's very easy to be swayed into forgetting someone's toxicity. It really is. And so what I would do is 2 things. The first thing that I do is, for that particular person, in my phone, I put an asterisk beside their name, like a little star or something beside their name, so that when they text me, or when they call me, I'm giving a little reminder, because I see the asterisk beside their name that says so-and-so star, whatever, use another symbol if you want to be more discreet or whatever, but just put a little symbol there. And then that way, when they call you, you're reminded, there's a person who I need to have some more boundaries with. Or I remember I put that asterisk beside their name because the last time I talked to them, they were really critical of me and I got off that phone feeling terrible. Or there's a person last time I dealt with them, they did this and they did that. It kind of reminds you. Barbie put on here, she said on her phone, she said it says incoming call from, and she passed the trash can. Well, that is one way to remember too. All right, that's one way to remember as well. But my point is, do something to remind yourself of it. Let me tell you another thing that I do, and this is a good one. It really helps me out so much. This is especially helpful after a breakup. Right. What I do is when my emotions are strong, because I'm talking about when I'm just in my worst feelings, right after that breakup or right after that relationship is ended, whatever type of relationship it may be, I go ahead and I go into the Notes app on my phone where you can record the voice recorder. I also have an app called Evernote that I use. You should get it. They don't pay me a dime to endorse them, but let me tell you, it's a fabulous app. It's a Notes app, and you can put a little pin on it so folks can't get in there. And so I go in there and I record myself explaining to myself why I ended the relationship or why the relationship didn't work or whatever I'm feeling that moment in time. Here's why that's important. Because when I'm tempted to answer that phone again, because you're lonely or because you're feeling whatever you're feeling or whatever it may be, you're yearning and missing, and I'm tempted to pick up that phone or send that text or whatever, I go to the app and I can listen to myself talking to myself around what I was feeling that moment. There is nothing like hearing the sound of your own voice, reminding you of what you felt in a moment. Let me tell you that. You hear your voice and you say, nope, I'm not calling him. Nope, I'm not calling her. She gets on my nerves and she makes me feel terrible. So that's another one. The name of the app, Cornell, is Evernote, Evernote. I have it on, you can have it on your computer. I've got it on my computer, my phones, everything. It's fabulous. They have a free version and a premium version. Get the premium. I don't know how much it is, but get the premium so you can have a PIN code on it because you don't want people in your business. All right? So that's another way that I deal with it, right? Another way that I deal with toxic people, and sometimes you just have to do this, and I'm just going to put it out there. Sometimes you got to go with block and delete, right? And that's not just for your cell phone. It's for your life. Sometimes you have got to block and delete people. Sometimes you've got to cut them off from your life. Let me tell you this. I wish I could tell you that everyone could be redeemed and healed, but there are some vessels that are so broken that you can't put them back together. They're going to get put back together. It'll be an act of God, all right? And you don't need to deal with them and wait for them to be put back together. Some people don't need to be in your life because their level of toxicity is truly, truly, truly harmful to you. You cannot deal with those types of people at all. And so when I say block and delete, yes, technically you can do that on your phone, but even beyond the very literal sense of doing that within your phone, sometimes you need to block and delete people from your life. That means sometimes you're going to have to say, I'm going to go to different places. I know that I want to go to my friend's event tonight, but I know that person's going to be there. Sometimes you got to choose your own sanity and choose your own health over trying to go with your old habits, all right? Sometimes you got to change your lifestyle. Sometimes you got to say, you know what? It is more important for me to be happy, healthy, and whole than it is for me to be around this particular person. So I'm going to block them by way of changing my habits, making sure I'm not putting myself in spaces with them. I'm going to delete them by making sure that any reminders of them that I ever had in my life, I'm going to get out of them. Sometimes you don't need to keep those picture frames up around your house that shows you with that person because it brings on those feelings. Sometimes you need to delete people's number out your phone, all right? Because let me tell you this, I don't remember nobody's phone. I know only one of my phone numbers, and I think I have 6 phone numbers because of all the office stuff and then the home stuff. I know one of my phone numbers. And even that number, I did not know for the first probably 4 months of having that number. And whenever someone asked my number, I would go into the thing and I had my own contact saved. And I would say, okay, you ready? My number is, and I would say, well, here, you just write it down. You know, I'm not a big phone number kind of person. I don't remember these things. And so with that understood, sometimes you have to delete somebody just completely out of your life. And it's not a matter of being harsh. It's a matter of saying that And that my personal sanity and my personal health and wholeness is more important than trying to hang on to you. And based on where you are toxic for me. That doesn't mean you're a toxic person overall, but you are toxic for me. Our interactions bring out the worst in me and they bring out the worst in you, and I can't deal with you. So what I'm going to have to do is cut you off. Sometimes you got to cut people off. Some of y'all are damaged by people and y'all are still trying to figure out, how do you continue dealing with this person? How do you make it work? How do you thinking that somehow or another, if you stick around long enough and if you love them enough, that's going to change them? Not everybody is going to change. They're not going to change. Sometimes the best change you can do is to cut them out of your life. So I call that the block and delete. Let me tell you, that's sort of like, that's the escalated plan. That's after you tried all these other things and they're not working, then you escalate to that particular point to get there, all right? Here's my fifth way to deal with a toxic person, right? And this is something that I think is critical for everyone, right? This is absolutely critical for everyone. Now, let me be clear. I'm saying toxic. Toxic is a step level above difficult, right? You can have someone who's difficult who's not toxic. They're just a difficult person. So when I'm talking about toxic people, I'm specifically talking about people who are just so unhealthy. You feel so unhealthy around them that it affects your psyche. It affects how you feel about yourself. The kind of person where when you see their number come up on your phone, you feel that tension in your stomach. The kind of person where you say, every time I deal with them, I feel like I'm completely going out of character. This person just brings out the worst in me. I just can't deal with them. That's what I'm talking about. Someone who's toxic for your health. So this is the way you deal. This is the fifth way, and it's probably the most critical way that you deal with any toxic person. And it really is a personal thing that only you can do for you. It is, listen very closely. And in fact, before I do this, I want y'all to click like and I want y'all to click share, because this is something that other people should click. So I'll go ahead and wait. Click like and click share. I'll count to 5 so y'all can have time to do it, so y'all don't miss nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we got more people in here right now because this is the one that everyone needs to hear, all right? You have to decide for yourself that you deserve to be in relationships that make you feel good about who you are. Let me tell you this. The greatest way to attract a toxic person into your life is to not know your own self-worth, all right? When you know your self-worth, that is when you can truly know that you deserve to be in relationships that make you feel good about who you are. If you look at anyone who's in a relationship where they're tolerating mistreatment, they're dealing with abuse, they're dealing with all kind of craziness, that is a reflection on their self-worth. They don't deserve to be treated that way, but frankly, they don't have the willpower, they don't have the strength to get from up under that relationship because their self-worth is not high enough to help them get out of that situation, to tell them, I need to get out of this at any cost, right? When you know that you deserve every good thing, including healthy, happy relationships, you don't tolerate anything less than what you deserve at all. Let me tell you this, at this point in my life, based on where my own personal self-worth is today, because I'll tell you where I came from. I used to be a people pleaser, all right? I grew up in such a way, when I talked about this in one of my videos that was out today, I grew up in such a way where I dealt with abuse as a child, and for me, I grew up, and, I've always been, as they say, a little light on my feet. You know what I mean? I not the most masculine man on earth. I already had a big mouth, big bark. But, if you saw me coming, you said, okay, all right. He a little light on his feet. That's what they said back then, And the way I learned to deal with the world around me was by being always a people pleaser, always being very nice, and putting my self-worth at a lower point where I kind of felt like, well, people tolerate me, they don't really like me. They really don't like me, or they really make fun of me when I'm not around. So, I guess that must mean I'm not worth very much. So I can deal with people sometimes calling me names. I'll still be a nice person. I can deal with this. I can deal with that. And, that was just my childhood situation. But so many of y'all have dealt with other things. Maybe you grew up in a household with a parent who was abusive or who was overly critical. So that damaged your self-worth. Maybe you grew up under circumstances where you grew up in environments where you felt like you weren't as good as the other people who you're around. There's so many things within our life that can affect the way that we feel about ourselves. It can affect our sense of self-worth. And so for me, I went into my young adult years really, really, really being just ripped apart with a terrible self-esteem. I could smile. I could always master a smile, So if you ever saw me, you say, oh, he's so friendly. He's so nice. He's always smiling. Yeah, I was always smiling, but I always felt terrible. I remember the greatest sense of anxiety I would ever feel was when I would go into a new space, like to go to meet new people, be around new people. I would get so much anxiety because my self-worth was so low that it was hard for me to believe that I would fit in. I just automatically thought when I come in this room, people are going to look at me funny. They're going to, no one's going to really like me. I'm not going to fit in, I had so much anxiety around that because my self-worth was so low. And I will tell you, once I started doing the work to work on myself, on my self-worth, really my self-esteem, it changed the way I saw myself. It enhanced my relationships, number one, because when I knew that I was worth so much, and I knew that I just am inherently good as a child of God, as a creation of the universe. I'm inherently good. Every good thing that exists within my Creator exists within me. When I really locked into that, I wouldn't tolerate any behavior or any treatment from anyone that was less than what I knew my Creator designed for me to deal with, right? It didn't matter who you were. I don't care if you were my closest relative or if you were a person on the street. I was not going to tolerate mistreatment because I was created for greatness. And if your treatment towards me doesn't reflect that, then frankly, you don't deserve to be in my life. You are one of the 7 billion people on the face of the earth that I don't want nothing to do with. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. But it took me increasing my self-worth. It also changed how I dealt with my career. Because let me tell you this, before my self-worth was good, I would procrastinate on things because when you know you deserve every good thing, you're going to go after every good thing, right? It doesn't matter how much work needs to go into it. It doesn't matter how scared you are because you know you deserve better than where you are right now. So you're going to work hard for it. But it's real easy to procrastinate when you don't believe that you deserve the goals that's within your mind, because you can have a goal in your mind but not believe that you deserve it, right? There's a whole another message for another time, but it still does connect to self-worth. And so when I changed my sense of self-worth, that helped enhance the things I was going after, right? Because I said, you know what? I deserve more than the life that I'm living today. And that not only includes having better relationships, that includes having more money. That includes having a better job situation. That includes being able to spend my time in a way that I enjoy. So that changed it over there. But if we really focus on relationships, when I really improved my self-worth, it changed what I was willing to deal with from people. Because I said, I am not willing to tolerate being treated in any way that doesn't work for me. And you know what? It helped me out so much because let me tell you, even when I had to let people go, and sometimes from time to time, I still got to let people go from my life, right? But even when I have to do that, let me tell you, it hurts, but that pain is so much less than it used to be, because it used to be when my self-worth wasn't where it needed to be, and it came time for me to let go of a difficult person, I would say, well, but I'm going to miss them. But what if I don't find somebody like them again? And what if this and what if that? Now, because my self-worth is where it needs to be and continuing to grow every single day, what I know for myself is, you know what? I was created for every good thing. And the way you're treating me right now doesn't work for me. So baby, I love you, but I love myself even more. And I'm willing to deal with the pain of letting you go, because I know that that's going to be an open door to the healing process that's then going to elevate me to the level where I can then meet whoever else can fill your spot and treat me better. Because I know my self-worth is so strong that I know that I'm a magnet for good people. I'm a magnet for good things. Let me tell you, if you are worth something and you've got great self-worth, you're going to want to be around me. That's what I know about myself. It's not arrogance. It's not conceit. What you're hearing is the words and the thoughts of a man who's got high self-worth. And when you choose to raise your self-worth, let me tell you, you're raising your vibration. You're going to literally turn off some toxic people from wanting to be around you. They're not going to want to deal with you. They're going to say, oh, who she thinks she is. She thinks she this. She thinks she that. When they tell you that, when they say who you think you are, don't defend it. Know that that's the battle cry. That's the way that they raise their hand to say, listen, I'm toxic and I'm not here for you. When they say who you think you are, I bet you think you this, or you sound arrogant, you sound this. That is someone who's letting you know I'm going to be toxic for you if you get too close for me. And the way you know I'm going to be toxic for you is because I can't value you. I don't know how to value you, because when you stand up and when you're within your full self-worth, it makes me feel deficient. Because it makes me feel deficient, I want to pull you down, right? So stop trying to hold on to people when they say who you think you are, or when they make those little comments. Oh, you fancy, huh? You this, you that, you the other. Hell yeah, I am. I really am, right? Yes, like legitimately so. I really, really, really am. Whatever you think I am, multiply that by 10. I really am all those things, all right? And because your response to all of my MJ-ness, right? All of my Matthew-ness, or all of my Julia-ness, right? Because your response to that is coming from a place of deficiency, Your presence within my life is probably going to be toxic for me. So I wish you well, but what I'm not willing to do is engage you based on who you are and where you are at this point in your life right now. You have the power to do that. You can stand firm within your wholeness when you recognize, hey, listen, I am every good thing and I deserve every good thing. And that only comes from a place of owning your self-worth. The key to dealing with toxic and difficult people is to raise your vibration and raise your self-worth. You can do that through daily affirmations. You can do that through watching daily MJ Harris videos. Because let me tell you this, I live my life to help you feel limitless. Let me tell you, for the millions of people all around the world who watch my videos, just to know that you are killing it every day and that you are doing what you need to do to feel better about yourself. I don't care if you make $1 million, $1 billion, or you don't make no extra money. If you feel good about yourself, then that's the goal to me, because I know if you feel good about yourself, that's the foundation for healthy relationships and it's the foundation to success in every part of your life. All right? So I want to thank you all for watching this. As I mentioned, if you like this message and you know you are ready for love, you are ready to love yourself more, you are ready to learn how to receive love from other people better, you are ready to learn how to love other people better, not just romantic relationships, but in every type of relationship, I want you to sign up for my Success Circle online community at www.mjharrissuccesscircle.com. That's mjharrissuccesscircle.com. We've discounted the price by about 33%, so you can get in that. This is knowledge that I want people to have. Let me tell you this. I've been very, very, very fortunate to be able to be the CEO of National Care. I'm the CEO of National Care, which happens to be one of America's largest African-American owned financial services companies. I am on KTLA, which is a CW network. I'm able to have my content seen by millions of people all around the world. Money is not a problem for me. Let's just put that out there, right? Doing all right. And so with that said, when it comes to this work within my life around helping people, I'm able to do things in such a way where I don't have to charge you $99.999 a month. I don't have to charge $1,000 to come see this stuff. I'm able to give this information away because what I want to know is that rather you are a daycare worker in St. Louis or you are a pharmacist in Philadelphia, I don't care if you got a GED or a PhD. I want to know that you're able to get access to this kind of content, because there are so many folks out here where they can't afford to go to a therapist. They can't afford to go pay for a life coach. They can't afford those kind of things. What they have available to them is their mobile device. And that's all they got. Is they got Facebook, and if they can get just a glimmer of hope, a glimmer of lessons to help guide them through a difficult circumstance, right? That's what I'm here to do. So that's why the pricing is designed the way it's designed. If you got $6 a week, then guess what, baby? You can get access to some support and some help to help you create the life that you desire to live. So thank you so much for watching today. Of course, click like, click share. And if this is your first time watching me, what I want you to do is go to my page, MJ Harris Speaks, and I want you to go click like. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. I'm going to do more on Twitter. I don't do as much on Twitter these days. And follow me on YouTube also. Baby, I got some messages for you. I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of messages that I've accrued over the years. And I just pour them out. I drip them out on you. I drip them out onto you. I just can't wait to help you all live limitless lives. Thanks for watching today, folks. Bye-bye.